Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. um, sorry again that I
And
look so
please like before the video. Please like. It will help.
Yep, it will help. Like and subscribe.
Please.
Now, I
like
may
and
not
subscribe.
look better, but I feel better than I did last time. Okay, this one wants to show off. See
Yeah,
these
look.
cute earrings?
Yeah.
They have a little key charm and then the clay flower dangly. They're cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then these ones are a little like, oh, excuse me, cute maple leaf.
Yeah, like from Canada.
And then these cute little owl ones. Owls with the cute kind of iridescent beads on them. Showing off some of my cute stuff that I make with my own two hands. What's the matter, baby? You gonna come say hi? You gonna come say hi? Say hi. Hi. Nope, he's going for the earrings. Oh my goodness. Not today. Okay, and then before we get started, like I always like to ask, what did you have for dinner?
And yeah, have you ever had ring pops?
Have you ever had ring pops? We let her get some, and she loves them. We had casserole, like the hamburger, string bean, potato, tomato. We put V8 juice on top, cheese. What did you do? Did you do pea?
Yeah, pea for pig.
Put E. What says E?
E.
I.
Oh.
And then spinach salad with lots of toppings, veggies. It was super good with crackers on top and butterscotch. Oh my goodness, I keep yawning. I'm sorry. Butterscotch oatmeal cookies, which were very yummy.
Know
The dough
if you had dinner.
was so good. I ate one
Or
cookie,
what
but I
you're
ate like probably
for
at least
dinner.
2 cookies worth of dough.
Look at Caden.
What is he doing?
Look at his little double chin.
Does he have a little double chin?
Yeah, he looks cute with it.
Okay, so Evelina. So this is volume 2, chapter 4. And it's super short, so I'll for sure do 2 of them, depending, maybe, the next one's really short too, so I might do 3. Let me see how long the third one is. Let's see. 1, 2, oh yeah, we'll do all 3.
This is my little plant. It's a little cactus with a heart.
Cute,
huh?
Very cute.
No, the line's very bad, so you can't really tell.
Yeah, the lighting's not great. We need a good light and a good camera. Oh, he loves it.
Oh,
Don't dump it. Don't dump it. Oh, so pretty. Oh, don't dump it. Don't dump it. Yeah, be soft. Be nice to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a baby. Yeah, that's a baby.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There, you can see Kaden better because she's so Say hi.
He has a little double chin.
Look at all those teethers. See the teeth? So many? No. Where's your penguin? Kaden, where's your penguin?
It's right there.
Where's your penguin? Is it on you? Oh, you can hear the toy playing. Okay, see ya.
It's the phone.
Oh, yeah, that's really loud in my ear. Okay. Letter 4, Sir John Belmont to Lady Howard. Paris, May 11th. Madam, I have this moment the honour of your ladyship's letter, and I will not wait another before I return an answer. It seldom happens that a man, though extolled as a saint, is really without blemish, or that another, though reviled as a devil, is really without humanity. Perhaps the time is not very distant when I may have the honour to convince your ladyship of this truth in regard to Mr. Villiers and myself. Oh, Sir John Belmont. For some reason, I was thinking the Reverend Mr. Villiers. So this is Evelina's father. I'm clear, like, loopy. Okay, so let me read that line again. Perhaps the time is not very distant when I may have the honour to convince your ladyship of this truth in regard to Mr. Villiers and myself. As to the young lady whom Mr. Villiers so obligingly proposes presenting to me, I wish her all the happiness to which, by your ladyship's account, she seems entitled. And if she has a third part of the merit of her to whom you compare her, I doubt not but Mr. Villiers will be more successful in every other application he may make for her advantage than he can ever be in any way with which he may be pleased to favor me. That sentence did not make sense to me. I doubt not, but Mr. Villiers will be more successful in every other application he may make for her advantage than he can ever be in any which he may be pleased to favor me. Oh, okay. He's saying you're going to be a lot more likely to be successful if you just take care of her than if you try to get me to, I guess. I have the honor to be, Madame, your ladyship's most humble and most obedient servant, John Belmont. Letter 5. Evelina to the Reverend Mr. Villiers, Howard Grove, May 18th. Well, my dear sir, all is now over. The letter so anxiously expected is at length arrived, and my doom is fixed. The various feelings which oppress me I have not language to describe, nor need I. You know my heart. You have yourself formed it, and its sensations upon this occasion you may but too readily imagine. Outcast as I am, and rejected forever by him to whom I of right belong, shall I now implore your continued protection? No, no, I will not offend your generous heart, which, open to distress, has no wish but to relieve it, with an application that would seem to imply a doubt. I am more secure than ever of your kindness, since you now know upon that is my sole dependence. I endeavor to bear the stroke with composure. We don't want to see up your nose, baby. And in such a manner as if I had already received your counsel and consolation. Yet at times my emotions are almost too much for me. Oh, sir, what a letter for a parent to write! Must I not myself be deaf to the voice of nature if I could endure to be thus absolutely abandoned without regret? I dare not, even to you, nor would I, could I help it, to myself acknowledge all that I think. For indeed I have sometimes sentiments upon this rejection which my strongest sense of duty can scarcely correct. Yet suffer me to ask, might not this answer have been softened? Was it not enough to disclaim me for ever, without treating me with contempt, and wounding me with derision? But while I am thus thinking of myself, I forget how much more he is the object of sorrow than I am. Alas, what amends can he make himself for the anguish he is hoarding up for time to come? My heart bleeds for him whenever this reflection occurs to me. What is said of you, my protector, my friend, my benefactor, I dare not trust myself to comment upon. Gracious heaven, what a return for goodness so unparalleled! I would fain endeavour to divert my thoughts from this subject, but even that is not in my power. For, afflicting as this letter is to me, I find that it will not be allowed to conclude the affair, though it does all my expectations, for Madame Duval has determined not to let it rest here. She heard the letter in great wrath, and protested she would not be so easily answered. She regretted her facility in having been prevailed upon to yield the direction of this affair to those who knew not how to manage it, and vowed she would herself undertake and conduct it in future. It is in vain that I have pleaded against her resolution, and besought her to forbear an attack, where she has nothing to Lady Howard will one day be more openly dealt with. She will not hear me. She is furiously bent upon a project which is terrible to think of, for she means to go herself to Paris, take me with her, and there, face to face, demand justice. How to appease or to persuade her, I know not. But for the universe would I not be dragged in such a manner to an interview so awful with a parent I have never yet beheld. Lady Howard and Mrs. Mervyn are both of them infinitely shocked at the present situation of affairs, and they seem to be even more kind to me than ever. And my dear Maria, who is the friend of my heart, uses her utmost efforts to console me, and when she fails in her design, with still greater kindness, she sympathizes in my sorrow. I very much rejoice, however, that Sir Clement Willoughby had left us before this letter arrived. Be sweet, baby.
Mom, what's next to spell pig?
Yeah. What's the last sound? Pig.
G.
Yep, that's right. Lady Howard thinks I ought not to dislodge Madame Duval, yet she acknowledges the impropriety of my accompanying her abroad with such an enterprise. Indeed, I would rather die than force myself into his presence. But so vehement is Madame Duval that she would instantly have compelled me to attend her to town in her way to Paris. Had not Lady Howard so far exerted herself as to declare she could by no means to consent to my quitting her house till she gave me up to you, by whose permission I had entered it. Oh, you want to show? She's doing school. She wants to show off.
No.
Oh, you just want to show me?
I drew the mouth? You think I drew the mouth?
No. Did you?
I did.
What? Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah.
She was extremely angry at this denial, and the captain, by his sneers and raillery, so much increased her rage that she has positively declared, should your next letter dispute her authority to guide me by her own pleasure, she will without hesitation make a journey to Berry Hill and teach you to know who she is. Should she put this threat in execution, nothing could give me greater uneasiness, for her violence and volubility would almost distract you. Unable as I am to act for myself, or to judge what conduct I ought to pursue, how grateful do I feel myself that I have such a guide and director to counsel and instruct me as yourself. Adieu, my dearest sir. Heaven, I trust, will never let me live to be repulsed and derided by you, to whom I now sign myself. Wholly your Evelina. Letter 5. Mr. Villars to Evelina. Berry Hill, May 21st. Let not my Evelina be depressed by a stroke of fortune for which she is not responsible. No breach of duty on your part has incurred the unkindness which has been shown you, nor have you, by any act of imprudence, provoked either censure or reproach. Let me entreat you, therefore, my dearest child, to support yourself with that courage which your innocency ought to inspire, and let all the affliction you allow yourself be for him only, who, not having that support, must one day be but too severely sensible how much he wants it. The hint thrown out concerning myself is wholly unintelligible to me. My heart, I dare own, fully acquits me of vice, but without blemish I have never ventured to pronounce myself. However, it seems his intention to be hereafter more explicit, and then, should anything appear that has on my part contributed to those misfortunes we lament, let me at least say that the most partial of my friends cannot be so much astonished as I shall myself be at such a discovery. The mention also of any future applications I may make is equally beyond my comprehension, but I will not dwell upon a subject which almost compels from me reflections that cannot be but wounding to a heart so formed for filial tenderness as my Evelina's. There is an air of mystery throughout the letter, the explanation of which I will wait in silence. The scheme of Madame Duval is such as might be reasonably expected from a woman so little inured to disappointment, and so totally incapable of considering the delicacy of your situation. Your averseness to her plan gives me pleasure, for it exactly corresponds with my own. Why will she not make the journey she projects by herself? She would not have even the wish of an opposition to encounter, and then, once more, might my child and myself be left to the quiet enjoyment of that peaceful happiness which she alone has interrupted. As to her coming hither, I could indeed dispense with such a visit. But if she will not be satisfied with my refusal by letter, I must submit to the task of giving it her in person. My impatience for your return is increased by your account of Sir Clement Willoughby's visit to Howard Grove. I am but little surprised at the perseverance of his assiduities to interest you in his favour, but I am very much hurt that you should be exposed to addresses which, by their privacy, have an air that shocks me. You cannot, my love, be too circumspect. The slightest carelessness on your part will be taken advantage of by a man of his disposition. It is not sufficient for you to be reserved. His conduct even calls for your resentment, and should he again, as will doubtless be his endeavour, contrive to solicit your favour in private, let your disdain and displeasure be so marked as to constrain a change in his behaviour, though indeed, should his visit be repeated while you remain at the Grove, Lady Howard must pardon me if I shorten yours. Adieu, my child. You will always make my respects to the hospitable family to which we are so much obliged. Okay, 3 letters. Well, all 3 were really short. Let me see how long the next one is. You know what? It's not very long either. Maybe I'll just do it too, because it's only been 15 minutes. So we'll do one more, and then I'll go. Letter 7, Mr. Villars to Lady Howard, Berry Hill, May 27th. Dear Madame, I believe your ladyship will not be surprised at hearing I have had a visit from Madame Duval, as I doubt not her having made known her intention before she left Howard Grove. I would gladly have excused myself this meeting could I have avoided it decently, but after so long a journey it was not possible to refuse her admittance. She told me that she came to Berry Hill in consequence of a letter I had sent to her granddaughter in which I had forbid her going to Paris. Very roughly she then called me to account for the authority which I assumed, and had I been disposed to have argued with her, she would very angrily have disputed the right by which I used it. But I declined all debating. I therefore listened quietly till she had so much fatigued herself with talking that she was glad in her turn to be silent, and then I begged to know the purport of her visit. She answered that she came to make me relinquish the power I had usurped over her granddaughter, and assured me she would not quit the place till she succeeded. But I will not trouble your ladyship with the particulars of this disagreeable conversation, nor should I, but on account of the result have chosen so unpleasant a subject for your perusal. However, I will be as concise as I possibly can, that the better occupation of your ladyship's time may be the less impeded. When she found me inexorable in refusing Evelina's attending her to Paris, she peremptorily insisted that she should at least live with her in London, till Sir John Belmont's return. I remonstrated against this scheme with all the energy in my power, but the contest was in vain. She lost her patience, and I my time. She declared that if I was resolute in opposing her, she would instantly make a will, in which she would leave all her fortune to strangers, though otherwise she intended her granddaughter for her sole heiress. To me, I own, this threat seemed of little consequence. I have long accustomed myself to think that, with the competency of which she is sure, my child might be as happy as in the possession of millions. But the incertitude of her future fate deters me from following implicitly the dictates of my present judgment. The connection she may hereafter form, the style of life for which she may be destined, and the future family to which she may belong, are considerations which give but too much weight to the menaces of Madame Duval. In short, madam, after a discourse infinitely tedious, I was obliged, though very reluctantly, to compromise with this ungovernable woman, by consenting that Evelina should pass 1 month with her. I never made a concession with so bad a grace, or so much regret. The violence and vulgarity of this woman, her total ignorance of propriety, the family to which she is related, and the company she is likely to keep, are objections so forcible to her having the charge of this dear child, that nothing less than my diffidence of the right I have of depriving her of so large a fortune would have induced me to listen to her proposal. Indeed, we parted at last equally discontented, she at what I had refused, I at what I had granted. It now only remains for me to return your ladyship my humble acknowledgments for the kindness which you have so liberally shown to my ward, and to beg you would have the goodness to part with her when Madame Duval thinks proper to claim the promise which she has extorted from me. I am, dear madam, and etc., Arthur Villars. Okay. All right. I think oh my heck, the next one is so short. I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to do it. And they're all so short. Letter 8, Mr. Villars to Evelina, Berry Hill, May 28th. With a reluctance which occasions me inexpressible uneasiness, I have been almost compelled to consent that my Evelina should quit the protection of the hospitable and respectable Lady Howard, and accompany Madame Duval to a city which I had hoped she would never again have entered. But alas, my dear child, we are the slaves of custom, the dupes of prejudice, and dare not stem the torrent of an opposing world, even though our judgments condemn our compliance. However, since the die is cast, we must endeavour to make the best of it. You will have occasion in the course of the month you are to pass with Madame Duval for all of the circumspection and prudence you can call to your aid. She will not, I know, propose anything to which she thinks wrong herself, but you must learn not only to judge, but to act for yourself. If any schemes are started, any engagements made, which your understanding represents to you as improper, exert yourself resolutely in avoiding them, and do not, by a too passive facility, risk the censure of the world or your own future regret. You cannot too assiduously attend to Madame Duval herself, But I would wish you to mix as little as possible with her associates, who are not likely to be among those whose acquaintance would reflect credit upon you. Remember, my dear Evelina, nothing is so delicate as the reputation of a woman. It is at once the most beautiful and most brittle of all human beings. Adieu, my beloved child. I shall be but ill at ease till this month is elapsed. A.V. Okay, that's it. The next one is longer. Way longer. Longer than all of those put together. Okay. All right, we'll be done for tonight. And we will see you next time. So now we're on letter 9. So we'll pick that up tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I keep yawning. I'm so tired. So tired all the time. Okay. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for coming to the Story Corner for story time. And we'll see you next time. Good night.